Chairwoman, Ranking Member. Uh, Mr. Jacob, could you please, you talked about the impact of the stimulus. Could you elaborate further on what you believe could have been done to make the stimulus more effective for smaller firms?
Yeah, I can give you an example. We're going after a stimulus project right now, a GSA project in Gainesville, Georgia, a courthouse renovation, small courthouse renovation that's a set-aside project. One of the problems with it is that the money that's been set aside, they've not been able to figure out the exact amount yet or how to budget it with what they want to do with the project. So we were technically awarded this project about 3 months ago, but we were told it's probably going to be 6 or 7 months before they finally get it underway. So the issue isn't so much as the money coming down, it's how quickly we can get it acting the way it should be, into the marketplace. And that's an example of what we're personally experiencing. If we had that project right now, it would certainly give some relief to us financially. And, we would have kept a few people working. It was a nice project for a firm our size. But that's a good example of what we need to, what I would like to see done is just how can we get that money quicker into the marketplace, and it's been coming.
Well, with kind of following up with that personal experience you just had, or maybe others, what's the what type of paperwork, what kind of requirements, reporting requirements has that been, and has that been easy to comply with? Is it a fairly easy process to cut?
It's not a hard process. It's an arduous process. I mean, it takes time to do it. So you have to look at that, at what it does to your profitability on a project as you're doing time management on a project. It's more paperwork, but it's not hard paperwork. It's just more. So, and you have to make sure that you've got all your numbers correct. And from our side of what we're doing with a contract portion of the stimulus money, but it's a time issue.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Robeson, in your testimony, you stated that the sale of an additional 200,000 homes is attributed to first-time home buyers credit. Is it possible to estimate how many of these buyers accelerated their purchase to receive the credit, or would not have purchased at all without it?
I think those estimates are additional that would not have. I think those are the additional sales that would have happened without the tax credit.
Okay, very good. Now, you expressed support for monetizing the credit. Would you explain why this and why you feel it's important?
I think anytime you can help, especially with the mortgage criteria the way it is now, obviously for first-time home buyers, down payment is the most difficult. The monetization allows them to do it. There's been several states that have done it, and they've actually seen an increase in sales because of it. So I think it's proven. FHA has certainly come out and helped create that, but it's a proven stimulus to help people come up with a down payment in order to buy a home.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pryor, how would the borrower right of inspection that you made reference to protect consumers and provide better consumer awareness, and how does this help the housing sector?
The transparency of it is enormous. A family coming to a closing table that has not had advance notice of what their closing costs are going to be, or even how much money they're going to have to bring to the table because of some delay in receiving closing instructions and last-minute preparation of the settlement statement, it creates confusion in the marketplace and dissatisfaction as people leave. So the confidence factor is impaired in an enormous way. That is a outstanding and very important way for consumers to regain confidence in the process, and once they do that, stability will ensue.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kinfora, what's the average amount of time a closing is delayed since the inception of the Home Valuation Code of Conduct?
Well, it can be delayed to canceled completely. So with the we're having appraisals come in inaccurate. We have to then go out and question them, and so the time is just absorbed. I would say anywhere from the transaction falling apart to at least 3-4 weeks, as far as delay is concerned. But remember, when somebody gets an appraisal that's not correct, it's a negative feeling on the house that they're buying. So with that, they're tarnished, and so
Okay.
that's what we're seeing. We're seeing transactions falling apart.
All right, thank you. I'll yield back, Madam Chairwoman.
Ms. Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, Ranking Member Graves, and thank you to our panelists for coming to discuss this very important issue with us. And I'm pleased that we're discussing expanding this important first-time home buyers tax credit. It's no secret that the housing sector's continued weakness is causing a great deal of pain out there, with 9